Well, the mics are back on, and this is Radio Entrepreneurs. My name is Jeffrey Davis, and welcome back. And it's nice, to sit around and be able to talk to entrepreneurs all the time. Over 6,000 entrepreneurs have been talked to on Radio Entrepreneurs and Leaders. And our next one may be the best ever. Linda Ugelow, TV host for Women's Inspired. Correct?
That's correct. Women Inspired TV. Yep.
Well, Women Inspired TV. Well, that's the other way around. Okay, well, I didn't have it written out that way. So what is Women's Inspired TV? I know I'm not allowed on it.
No, unfortunately, I'm only inviting women who are entrepreneurs, healers, change makers. And I actually started the TV show because I was looking to be on TV locally, and I couldn't find any place that said, welcome business women or even business, let alone women or entrepreneurs. So I had the idea to start my own show and offer a place for all the many, many, many women that I meet through networking, a place to come and experience what it's like to be on TV and have a starting ground for future visibility appearances.
That's very nice. So what is your background? How did you evolve to getting to that point of time?
My work right now is helping people overcome the fear of speaking, whether that's speaking live in front of an audience or online.
Public speaking?
Public speaking, yep.
Okay.
And that came out in a very sideways manner. I had become an online coach, like a life coach. And I was looking to build my own visibility, and I was getting on live streaming every day on an app called Periscope. Have you heard of Periscope? It was one of the first live streaming apps before Facebook had it or Instagram. And I was told you had to do it every day. And I was really eager to build my following, so I committed to doing it every day. But I found that my heart was pounding hard in my chest. I felt like I was having a heart attack. But I kept at it. I did all kinds of management techniques. And then after 10 weeks of daily broadcasting, my heart was still pounding. I thought, what's going on? Why haven't I gotten more comfortable? You'd think that I'd feel a little bit more confident, but I wasn't. And that was the beginning of my investigation of what is behind this fear. And that the results of that exploration got me to doing what I am doing today, because I was able to get over my fear within a week. And I was blown away. And so I started to work with other people doing the same thing.
It's like a lot of therapists I know who have problems who do work, but you're not a therapist in that way. But I can relate to it. Some of my favorite public speakers were not good at public speaking. I used to work for the ad agency, the national and international ad agency that put Lee Iacocca on TV. And when we first put him on TV, for those who remember, you're probably more my generation, he was actually very uncomfortable. And within 2 years, he was rated for a few years the most respected person in America. He became very articulate and learned to love the camera, but he didn't in the beginning. And I think in some ways, the people who think they're good right from the start don't get better. But the people who are self-learners and like to develop and look inward, they're more willing to sort of take the coaching and really take the developmental things that they need to get there. Do you find that as well?
Well, I find that the people who have the most success or the people who are drawn to me are the ones who are really motivated.
Right.
And so I think that speaks to what you're saying as well, that people who are more introspective and into developing themselves fully. The people that come to me I don't think it has to do with whether or not you're afraid of speaking. I think that you can be unafraid of being in the center of attention and still be very interested in becoming better.
Yeah,
but
I agree with that.
But the people who come to me are particularly the ones who are avoiding it, or they do it, but they just wish that they didn't have to manage the fear, that they wish that they could just come out on stage.
Right.
And
some people I know sweat, shake, don't sleep.
Yeah.
I worked with a director of an international company, and I remember speaking with her about a year and a half ago, and people told me that she was the best presenter they had ever seen. And she said to me, I don't sleep, and I terrorize my husband for a month prior to every board meeting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a quality of life issue. See, because once you realize that you don't have to live with that kind of terror, then your life becomes much more pleasant. Then when you have an appearance, yes, you prepare for it, but you don't sweat, you don't have nightmares, you don't terrorize everybody in your family. And you're right.
She only terrorized her husband.
Oh, okay. Everyone else, just him.
That's what she told me.
Yeah, that's really funny.
But again, I'm going to go back to my earlier question because I understand why you picked the field. Your background, your career, what did you start doing, and what were you doing prior to all these things that it led to this?
Yes. So my original desire in the whole world was to be involved with dance and movement. And when I was 19, I took my first dance therapy class. It was a summer program, and it totally rocked my world. The whole idea that, we live inside our bodies. The body's language is movement, and yet in our society, we move so little in very restricted ways. So the idea of exploring the range of how we move and how it makes us feel inside was very foundational. So my whole, like the first 20 years of my life, I led different kinds of movement classes and experiences, very improvisational and rather therapeutic. And then I stopped because I felt like I had no idea about running a business, no idea. And I couldn't sustain it any longer. I thought and this was in the early 90s, and I just thought I don't know what to do except put up another flyer. That was the extent of my marketing. So I put it aside. I got married. I had a child, and I got very involved in organic farming, of all things, and kind of became a bit of a spokesperson in that field. I helped change the laws on legalizing raw milk in the state of Massachusetts, which was one of my greatest achievements, I feel. I don't even drink milk right now, but I like the idea that there's a choice.
No, it's nice to have the choice. It's nice that people can actually drink real milk.
And we have 23 dairies now that provide that. But what I realized was that when I was weeding the onions one day, I just got this hit that I was in the wrong business, that I had always wanted to make a big impact. I wasn't quite sure what that was, but I felt like I was hiding behind the kale, and it was time to get out.
Do you still dance?
I do. And I bring it into my work as well, because I feel like what we need to repattern, after we clear the fear, and clearing the fear is about getting to the root problems, the root causes of why we're afraid in the first place. But when we once we've cleared that and we've resolved those things, which is, as you say, very psychological, we need to repattern our habits. So when you're afraid, you kind of close up, you tense, you narrow yourself. And when you're confident, just think about the places where you feel the best. You're open, expansive, flowing. Those are the kinds of feelings that you want, and dance is a great way to get at that.
Right. Chris, we were sort of dancing yesterday, wouldn't you call it that?
Pretty much.
We were playing tennis.
Yeah, that's a dance.
And for me, tennis is a form of a dance.
It's an absolute dance,
right.
Yes.
The way we play it, right.
We know each other's games backward, yeah.
But there's a lot of movement, and so it was that, and I agree with you. So, Linda, very interesting, very inspiring. If somebody's looking for your help and also maybe potentially to be on Woman Inspired, how would they find you?
They can find me on my website, lindaugelow.com.
No, that's pretty easy.
It's very easy.
Great. It's nice for you to join the show, and hopefully you'll come back again and be part of the Radio Entrepreneurs team.
I'd love that. Thanks so
Great.
much.
Thanks for being here. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on Radio Entrepreneurs.